The Introvert's Superpower, full audiobook. Introduction. Welcome to a journey that might change your life forever. If you're listening to this, chances are you have felt out of place in a world that can't stop talking. You might have wondered why you get tired after a party while your friends are just getting started. You might have felt guilty for wanting to stay home on a Friday night to read a book or watch a movie alone. For a long time, society has told us that being quiet is a weakness. They told us we need to speak up, be louder, and act more like everyone else to be successful. But they were wrong. Being an introvert is not a flaw to be fixed. It is a superpower waiting to be discovered. This audiobook is not about changing who you are. It is about waking up to the power you already have. You have a brain built for focus, deep connection, and incredible creativity. It is time to stop apologizing for your quiet nature and start using it to win. Before we dive into the first chapter, I have a quick question for you. I want to know who is listening today. In the comments section below, please answer this simple question. What is one thing you love most about being alone? It could be the silence, the freedom to think, or just wearing comfortable clothes. Pause this audio for a second, scroll down, and let me know. What is the one thing you love most about being alone? Chapter 1. The Science of Your Brain. To understand your power, we must first look at the machine inside your head. Many people think introversion is just a personality choice or a lack of confidence. They think you are just shy. But science tells us a very different story. The difference between an introvert and an extrovert is not just in how they act. It is in how they are biologically wired. It is in your DNA. It is in the chemicals that flow through your brain. You are not broken. You are simply built differently. Let us talk about a chemical called dopamine. You have probably heard of it. Dopamine is the reward chemical. It is the chemical that gives us a rush of pleasure when we take risks, when we meet new people, or when we get a surprise. It is like a jolt of energy. Extroverts have a brain that is less sensitive to dopamine. This means they need a lot of it to feel good. They are like a car with a very large gas tank. They need to drive fast and go to new places to keep the engine running smoothly. To get that dopamine fix, they seek out loud music, big crowds, and constant activity. When they get this stimulation, they feel alive. Now let us look at your brain. If you are an introvert, your brain is much more sensitive to dopamine. You do not need a lot of it to feel the effects. In fact, if you get too much dopamine, you feel overstimulated. It feels like drinking 10 cups of coffee in 5 minutes. It makes you feel anxious, jittery, and exhausted. This is why a loud party or a chaotic office feels draining to you. It is not because you are antisocial. It is because your brain is literally getting flooded with too much chemical stimulation. Instead of dopamine, introverts rely on a different chemical pathway. Your superpower chemical is called acetylcholine. This is a bit of a complex name, but the concept is simple. Acetylcholine is also a pleasure chemical, but it works differently. It makes us feel good when we turn inward. It is released when we focus deeply, when we think, when we read, or when we have a long, meaningful conversation with just one person. It is the chemical of calm and safety. When an extrovert goes to a party, they get a dopamine hit. When you sit in a quiet room and work on a project you love, you get an acetylcholine hit. This is the first major fact you must accept. Your need for quiet is not a preference. It is a biological requirement for your happiness. When you try to force yourself to be loud and chase dopamine, you are fighting against your own biology. That is why you feel tired. You're running on the wrong fuel. Let us look at a real study that proves this. Decades ago, a psychologist named Hans Eysenck did a fascinating experiment. It is often called the lemon juice test. He took a group of introverts and a group of extroverts and put a drop of lemon juice on their tongues. The results were shocking. The introverts reacted strongly. They produced a large amount of saliva because the lemon juice was a strong shock to their sensitive systems. The extroverts produced much less saliva. They barely reacted. This proved that introverts have a nervous system that is more open to stimulation. You literally feel things more intensely than others do. Loud noises sound louder to you. Bright lights look brighter. Emotional pain can even feel deeper. This sensitivity is your first weapon. Because you are sensitive to stimulation, you are naturally more observant. While the extrovert is busy talking and looking for the next thrill, you are watching. You notice the small details. You notice when someone is uncomfortable. You notice the slight change in tone in a voice. You notice the error in the data that everyone else missed. In a world that is moving too fast, the person who notices the details is the person who holds the power. You are the watchman. You are the strategist. Now we must talk about the pathway of information in your brain. This is where things get very interesting. When information enters an extrovert's brain, it travels on a short pathway. It goes through the areas responsible for processing sensory input and then goes straight to the mouth or the muscles. They see something and they react. They hear something and they speak. This is great for quick reactions, but it can lead to impulsive mistakes. In the introvert's brain, the information takes a much longer road. It travels through the long pathway. This pathway visits many different parts of the brain before you respond. It visits the right front insula, which is an area linked to empathy and self-reflection. It visits Broca's area, which is linked to inner speech and planning. It visits the hippocampus, which is the home of long-term memory. Think about what this means. When someone asks you a question, you do not just blurt out an answer. Your brain instantly grabs that question and sends it on a journey. It checks your memories to see if you have experienced this before. It checks your feelings to see how it aligns with your values. It plans the words you want to say. This is why you might pause before you speak. This is why you might feel like you cannot find the right words in the middle of a fast argument, only to think of the perfect comeback 3 hours later when you are in the shower. You are not slow. You are deep. The long pathway means that when you finally do speak, your words have weight. You have processed the information more thoroughly than anyone else in the room. This is why people often turn to the quiet person in the meeting when things get serious. They know that if you are speaking, you have thought it through. So how do we turn this science into action? How do we use this knowledge to win? The first step is to stop fighting your nature. You must stop trying to be a dopamine addict if you are built for acetylcholine. Here is an actionable step you can take starting today. I want you to audit your energy. For the next week, pay attention to how you feel after different activities. When you spend an hour on social media, do you feel charged or drained? When you spend an hour with that one loud friend, do you feel happy or exhausted? When you spend an hour working alone on a hobby, do you feel energized? Once you know what drains you and what charges you, you must become ruthless about protecting your energy. This is not being mean. This is maintenance. You would not put diesel fuel in a gas car and expect it to run. Do not put yourself in high-stimulation environments for too long and expect to be happy. If you have a job that requires you to be social, you must schedule recovery blocks. This is a non-negotiable technique. If you have a 1-hour meeting that you know will be loud and chaotic, you must schedule 15 minutes of solitude immediately after. Go to your car. Go to a bathroom stall. Go for a walk around the block. Do not look at your phone. Just let your nervous system calm down. Let the acetylcholine flow back into your system. This resets your battery. If you skip this recovery, you will crash by 2 p.m. Another practical application of this science is in how you communicate. You know that you have the long pathway. You know you need time to process, so stop letting people pressure you into instant answers. When someone demands a decision right now, use this phrase. Say to them, I want to give this the thought it deserves. Let me process this and I will get back to you by tomorrow morning. This simple sentence is a game changer. It buys you the time your brain needs to use its superpowers. It shows the other person that you take their requests seriously. It moves the game onto your home turf. When you come back the next morning, you will have a well-thought-out answer that will likely be better than anything they could have come up with in the moment. Understanding your biology also helps you deal with the feeling of being overwhelmed. We all know that feeling. The lights seem too bright. The noise is annoying. You feel like you want to snap at someone. This is not you being a bad person. This is your amygdala, the part of the brain that handles fear and threats, reacting to overstimulation. When this happens, you need to manually reduce the input. Carry noise-cancelling headphones with you. They are not just for music. They are a shield for your nervous system. If you are in a busy place and feel that stress rising, put them on. Even 5 minutes of silence can lower your cortisol levels and bring your brain back to a functioning state. Let us look at another aspect of your brain, the prefrontal cortex. This is the part of the brain responsible for deep thinking and complex problem solving. Studies show that introverts often have thicker grey matter in the prefrontal cortex compared to extroverts. This is a massive advantage. This is the area of the brain that allows for abstract thought and decision-making. While the world is obsessed with action, you are built for strategy. While others are running fast in the wrong direction, you are the one looking at the map. This is why so many successful people are introverts. Think of Bill Gates, Albert Einstein, or J.K. Rowling. They did not win by being the loudest in the room. They won because they used their thick prefrontal cortex to outthink everyone else. They embraced their solitude to do deep work. Deep work is the ability to focus without distraction on a cognitively demanding task. This is a skill that is becoming rare in our modern world. Everyone is distracted by phones, emails, and notifications, but you, with your natural ability to turn inward, are primed for deep work. You can sit with a problem for hours. You can dig into the details. This is where you produce value that is hard to replicate. Do not let anyone tell you that you need to multitask. Multitasking is a myth. It is just switching your attention rapidly, and it destroys focus. Your brain is designed for single tasking. It is designed to go deep into one thing. Embrace that. When you work, shut off the world, close the door, turn off the phone. Give your brain the space it craves. You will find that you can get more done in 4 hours of deep focus than most people get done in a week of distracted work. I want to remind you of something important. Being an introvert does not mean you do not like people. The science shows we crave connection just as much as anyone else. We just crave a different kind of connection. Because we rely on acetylcholine, we get pleasure from depth, not width. We do not want 20 acquaintances. We want 3 deep friendships. We do not want small talk about the weather. We want to know what keeps you up at night. This is a social strength. When you talk to someone, you are fully present. Because you are not fighting to be the center of attention, you can listen. And in a world where everyone wants to be heard, a good listener is the most magnetic person in the room. We will talk more about this in the next chapters, but for now, understand that your brain is wired for empathy. You pick up on emotional cues that others miss. You can read the room. This makes you a better friend, a better partner, and a better leader. So let us recap the science. You have a brain that is sensitive to dopamine, meaning you need less outside stimulation to feel happy. You rely on acetylcholine, which rewards you for focus and calm. You have a longer neural pathway for processing information, which makes you a deep thinker and a careful planner. You have a nervous system that notices details that others ignore. These are not defects. These are the specs of a high-performance machine. You are like a finely tuned sports car. You are not built for off-roading in the mud like a loud truck. You are built for the precision of the racetrack. You do not need to change your engine. You just need to drive on the right road. As we move forward in this book, keep this science in mind. When you feel the pressure to act like an extrovert, remember your biology. Remember the lemon juice. Remember the dopamine. Be kind to yourself. You are operating exactly as you were designed to. There is a famous saying that goes, "In a gentle way, you can shake the world." This is your truth. You do not need to shout to be powerful. The ocean is silent at its depths, but it is the most powerful force on earth. Your mind is like that ocean. I want you to take a moment right now to appreciate your brain. Think of a time when your observation skills saved the day. Think of a time when your deep thinking solved a problem. That was not luck. That was your superpower in action. For the rest of this week, I challenge you to stop apologizing. If you want to leave a party early, do not make up an excuse. Just say you are tired and head home. If you want to eat lunch alone, do it. If you need time to think before answering a question, take it. Treat your need for solitude with the same respect you would treat a medical need. Because biologically, it is one. The world needs what you have. It needs people who think before they speak. It needs people who can sit still and solve hard problems. It needs people who can listen. It needs you. But it only gets the best version of you if you take care of the machine. You have the permission to be yourself. You have the science to back it up. You are an introvert, and that is your greatest advantage. Now that we have laid the foundation of how your brain works, we can move on to the art of connecting with others. You might think that being an introvert makes you bad at people skills, but the opposite is true. Your ability to connect is profound, but it requires a different approach. We are going to explore how to network, how to make friends, and how to communicate without draining your battery. We are going to learn how to use that listening superpower to make people love you. But that is for the next chapter. For now, sit with this knowledge. You are wired for wisdom. You are wired for focus. You are wired for depth. Embrace it, love it, use it. Let's continue to expand on the science because it is critical that you really internalize this. When we talk about the prefrontal cortex, we must also talk about the amygdala. The amygdala is the ancient part of the brain that deals with emotions and survival instincts. In introverts, the amygdala is more excitable. This means you have a lower threshold for sensing danger or discomfort. This might sound like a bad thing, leading to anxiety, but let's flip the perspective. This excitability means you are cautious. In evolutionary terms, the bold extroverts were the ones chasing the mammoths and sometimes getting killed. The introverts were the ones staying back, watching the horizon, noticing the change in the weather, and keeping the tribe safe. Both roles were necessary for survival. Today, we do not have mammoths, but we have bad business deals, toxic relationships, and poor life choices. Your cautious amygdala is your built-in risk management system. When you get that gut feeling that something is wrong, listen to it. That is your biology picking up on thousands of micro-signals that your conscious mind has not processed yet. That is your superpower protecting you. Do not let people call you a worrier. You are a risk assessor. Also, consider the concept of mirror neurons. These are neurons that fire both when we act and when we observe the same action performed by another. They are the basis of empathy. Because introverts spend so much time observing, their mirror neuron systems are often highly attuned. You can literally feel what another person is feeling. This can be exhausting, which is why you need alone time, but it is also a gift. It allows you to connect with people on a level that extroverts often miss. When you are in a conversation, you are not just hearing words. You are feeling the emotions behind them. You can tell when someone is lying. You can tell when someone is hurting but pretending to be fine. This makes you an incredible confidant. People will tell you their secrets because they feel safe with you. They feel understood. But remember the cost. Absorbing these emotions is heavy work. It uses up your glucose and your neurotransmitters. This is why you can feel physically tired after comforting a friend. It is real work. Acknowledging this helps you manage it. You are not weak for needing a nap after a heavy emotional talk. You are recovering from a heavy workout of your empathy muscles. Let us go back to the idea of the social battery. This is not just a metaphor. It is about glycogen stores in the brain. brain activity consumes a massive amount of energy. Intense social interaction for an introvert requires a lot of conscious processing. You are analyzing, listening, predicting, and regulating your own reactions. This burns energy. When you hit the wall, when you feel like you just cannot hear another word, that is your brain protecting itself. It is signaling that your resources are depleted. The actionable step here is to recognize the early warning signs. Do you start to get a headache? Do you start to feel irritable? Do you zone out? Catch these signs early. You do not have to disappear completely to recharge. You can use micro breaks. In a social gathering, go to the bathroom and wash your hands with warm water for 2 minutes. The sensation of warm water can be soothing to the nervous system. Step outside and look at the sky or a tree. Nature has a fractal pattern that is naturally calming to the human brain. These small moments can extend your battery life significantly. Another scientific aspect is your preference for written communication. Many introverts prefer texting or emailing over calling. This is because writing allows you to utilize the long pathway we discussed. It allows you to edit, to refine, and to make sure your message is perfect. Phone calls force you into the short pathway, which feels uncomfortable and risky. Do not let the world tell you that texting is impersonal. For you, it is the most personal way to communicate because it allows you to share your true, processed thoughts. Use this. If you have something important to say to your boss or your partner, write it down. Tell them, I express myself better in writing. This ensures your true voice is heard, not just your nervous reaction. We must also touch on the concept of restorative niches. This is a term coined by Professor Brian Little. A restorative niche is a place or activity where you can go to return to your baseline. It could be a physical place, like a quiet park bench, or a mental space, like meditation. Actionable step. Identify your restorative niches. Where do you feel most like yourself? Is it in the shower? Is it driving your car alone with the radio off? Is it walking the dog? Find these spaces and guard them. When you know you have a restorative niche waiting for you, you can handle the loud world with more confidence. You know there is an escape plan. You are building a life manual based on your biology. This is not about excuses, it is about efficiency. You want to be successful, you want to have good relationships, you want to be happy. The path to those things is not through pretending to be someone else. It is through mastering the science of you. Every time you choose a book over a bar, you are honoring your biology. Every time you choose a deep conversation over a cocktail party, you are feeding your soul. Every time you listen instead of shouting, you are using your power. You are a biological marvel, a creature built for depth in a shallow world, a creature built for calm in a chaotic world. The science proves that you have everything you need to succeed. You just have to trust it. As we end this chapter, I want you to feel a sense of relief. The pressure is off. You do not have to change. You just have to be. You have to be the observer, the thinker, the feeler. That is enough. That is more than enough. That is a superpower. In the next chapter, we will take this internal power and apply it to the outside world. We will learn the art of deep connection. We will see how your quiet nature can build bridges that are stronger than steel. But for now, rest in the knowledge that your brain is perfect just the way it is. You are the introvert, and that is your power. Chapter 2. The Art of Deep Connection. There is a persistent myth that follows us around like a shadow. It is the idea that introverts do not like people. It is the idea that we are antisocial, cold, or arrogant. People see us sitting quietly at the edge of the room, or they see us leaving the party early, and they assume we want nothing to do with them. They assume we want to be alone forever on a deserted island. This could not be further from the truth. In fact, it is often the opposite. Introverts love people. We love humanity. We love the complex stories, the deep emotions, and the fascinating experiences that every person carries within them. We do not hate connection. We hate the barriers that prevent connection. We hate the noise. We hate the surface-level chatter that fills the air, but says nothing. We hate small talk. The problem is not that we are loners. The problem is that the standard way of socializing in our culture is designed for extroverts. It is designed for speed and volume, not for depth and meaning. It is like a fast food restaurant. It is quick, it is loud, and the quality is often low. Introverts are looking for a fine dining experience. We want to sit down, take our time, and savor the conversation. In this chapter, we're going to explore how you can build deep, meaningful relationships without exhausting your battery. We are going to learn how to use your natural skills to become a master communicator. You do not need to become the loud storyteller at the bar to be popular or loved. You just need to master the art of deep connection. Let us start with the enemy of the introvert, small talk. You know the feeling. You run into an acquaintance at the grocery store, or you are stuck in an elevator with a colleague. The panic sets in. You search your brain for something to say. You talk about the weather. You talk about the traffic. You talk about how busy the week has been. You feel your energy draining away with every meaningless sentence. You feel like a robot. Why do we hate small talk so much? It is not just because it is boring. It is because it feels fake. Introverts value authenticity. We want to know what is real. Small talk is a shield. It is a way for people to interact without actually revealing anything about themselves. For an introvert who craves depth, this feels like a waste of time. It feels like eating air. You are going through the motions of eating, but you are not getting any nutrition. But here is the secret. Small talk is just the entry fee. It is the bridge you have to cross to get to the castle. You cannot just walk up to a stranger and ask them about their deepest fears or their childhood dreams. That would be too intense. You have to start small. The goal is not to stay in the small talk phase. The goal is to move through it as quickly as possible. You can do this by asking better questions. Most people ask open questions that lead to closed answers. They ask, "How are you?" The other person says, "Good." The conversation dies. Instead, you need to be a conversational detective. You need to look for the hooks that allow you to go deeper. If someone says, "I am just trying to get through the week," do not just nod. Ask them, "What is the most stressful thing on your plate right now?" Or, "What are you looking forward to doing once the week is over?" These questions signal that you are willing to listen. They open the door for the other person to share something real. You will be amazed at how quickly people open up when you give them permission to be real. Most people are dying to talk about themselves. They are just waiting for someone to ask. This brings us to your greatest social weapon, listening. In a world that cannot stop talking, the person who listens is king. Extroverts often listen to respond. They are waiting for their turn to speak. While you're talking, they are already planning what they are going to say next. They are not fully with you. They are halfway into their own next sentence. Introverts listen to understand. When you listen, you are fully present. You are taking in the data. You are watching the body language. You are hearing the tone of voice. This is a rare gift. When you give someone your full, undivided attention, you are giving them the most valuable thing you own. You are making them feel seen. You are making them feel important. There is a famous quote that says, "Being heard is so close to being loved that for the average person, they are almost indistinguishable." When you listen to someone deeply, you are essentially loving them. This creates a magnetic pull. People will want to be around you. They might not even know why. They will just leave a conversation with you feeling better about themselves. They will say, "I love talking to him. He is so easy to talk to." And the funny thing is, you might have only said 10 sentences in the whole hour, but listening is an active process. It is not just sitting there silently. You have to show that you are engaged. You do this with eye contact. You do this with small nods. You do this with what I call the pausing technique. When someone finishes a sentence, most people jump in immediately. They're afraid of the silence. But you, the introvert, you are comfortable with silence. When someone finishes speaking, wait for 2 or 3 seconds before you respond. Count to 3 in your head. This does 2 things. First, it shows the other person that you are actually thinking about what they said. You are processing their words. This is a huge compliment. Second, often the other person is not actually done. They pause to take a breath. If you wait, they will often continue, and that is when the real gold comes out. That is when they go deeper. By using the power of the pause, you control the pace of the conversation. You slow it down. You make it deeper. You bring it into your territory. You turn a frantic game of verbal tennis into a slow, thoughtful game of chess. Now, let us talk about networking. For many introverts, the word networking sounds like a torture device. We imagine a large conference room filled with hundreds of people in suits, all shouting over each other, exchanging business cards and trying to sell themselves. It is a nightmare of overstimulation and shallow interaction. But networking is crucial for your career and your life. You cannot avoid it. So you must redefine it. Forget the idea of working the room. That is an extrovert's game. If you try to meet 50 people in one night, you will fail. You will be exhausted after 10 minutes, you will look awkward, and you will make a bad impression. Instead, I want you to adopt the one-person goal. When you go to an event, your goal is not to meet everyone. Your goal is to have one meaningful conversation with one new person. Just one. If you do that, the night is a success. Scan the room. Look for the other person who looks a little overwhelmed. Look for the person standing by the food table alone. Look for the person checking their phone in the corner. That person is likely an introvert too. They are your tribe. Go talk to them, approach them and be honest. You do not have to come up with a clever pickup line. You can simply say, "These big events are always a bit overwhelming for me. I needed a break from the noise. Mind if I stand here?" Instant connection. You have lowered your guard, and they will lower theirs. You have established a common ground. From there, you can move into a real conversation. You can ask them what they are working on. You can ask them what brought them there. By the end of the night, while the extrovert has handed out 50 business cards to people who will forget him by morning, you have made one real friend. You have made a connection that matters, and in the long run, one real ally is worth 1,000 loose acquaintances. This is the quality over quantity principle. Introverts are not built for maintaining 1,000 shallow friendships. We are built for a small circle of deep loyalty. Let us talk about the digital world. Technology has been a blessing for introverts. It allows us to communicate without the immediate pressure of face-to-face interaction. But it can also be a trap if we use it wrong. Writing is your sword. As we discussed in the first chapter, your brain uses a long pathway to process information. This means you are often a better writer than a speaker. You can organize your thoughts. You can choose the perfect word. You can edit out the emotion and leave the logic. Use this to your advantage. If you have to negotiate a deal, try to do it over email. If you have to confront a friend about an issue, write them a letter or a long message. Do not feel guilty about this. Do not let people tell you that you are hiding behind a screen. You are choosing the medium where you perform best. However, there is a danger. Because we love the safety of text, we can sometimes become too isolated. We can forget that the human voice carries nuance that text cannot. Here is a rule for digital communication. If a text conversation goes back and forth more than 4 times with confusion or rising emotion, pick up the phone. Text is bad for conflict. It is easy to misread tone. You might read a joke as an insult. You might read a neutral statement as anger. When you feel that anxiety rising in a text thread, break the pattern. Call them. It will be uncomfortable for 10 seconds, but it will save you days of overthinking. You can say, "Hey, I felt like we were missing each other over text, and I wanted to make sure I understood you correctly." This shows leadership. It shows you care about the connection more than your own comfort. Now let us move to the most important connections of all: friendships and relationships. Introverts make the best friends. We are loyal. We keep secrets. We show up when things get hard. We are low drama. But we also have specific needs that can cause friction if we do not explain them. The biggest issue is the disappearing act. You hang out with your friends, you have a great time, and then you hit your limit. You go home and you do not answer your phone for 3 days. You need to recharge. To your friends, especially the extroverted ones, this looks like you are mad at them. They think they did something wrong. They think you are ignoring them. You have to communicate your battery levels. You have to teach people how to love you. You can say, "I had such a great time with you guys. I am going to be totally off the grid for a day or two to recharge my batteries, but I will call you on Wednesday." This is a game changer. You are reassuring them that the friendship is solid. You are telling them that your silence is about your biology, not about their behavior. When you explain this, real friends will understand. They will not take it personally. They will give you the space you need, and they will be there when you come back. You also need to curate your circle. There is a saying that you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. For an introvert, this is critical because people are energy. Some people are energy givers, and some people are energy vampires. An energy vampire is someone who is constantly dramatic, constantly negative, or constantly demanding of your attention. They do not listen. They only take. For an introvert, these people are dangerous. They will drain your battery in 10 minutes. You must be ruthless about protecting your circle. You do not have the energy to waste on vampires. You need low-maintenance friends. These are the friends who you can sit in silence with. These are the friends who do not get mad if you do not text back immediately. These are the friends where you can go months without talking, and when you meet up, it is like no time has passed. Find these people. Treasure them. They are rare. In romantic relationships, the dynamic can be even more complex. It is very common for introverts to marry extroverts. It is the classic opposites attract scenario. The introvert provides the calm ground, and the extrovert provides the excitement and the social bridge. It can be a beautiful partnership, but it requires work. The extrovert partner needs to understand that your need for alone time is not a rejection of them. It is not that you do not love them. It is that you need to be alone to be a person who is capable of love. You need to negotiate parallel play. This is a concept from child development, where 2 children play side by side but do not interact directly. They are together, but doing their own thing. This is heaven for an introvert relationship. You sit on the couch reading a book. Your partner sits on the other end watching TV with headphones or scrolling on their phone. You are in the same room. You can feel their presence. You are connected, but you are not interacting. You are not talking. This allows you to recharge while still being close to the person you love. You need to ask for this. You can say, "I want to be near you, but I do not have the energy to talk right now. Can we just sit together and do our own things?" Most partners will love this. It takes the pressure off them to entertain you. It creates a cozy, safe intimacy. Let us look deeper into the mechanics of empathy. We touched on this in the first chapter, but in relationships, it is your superpower. Because you observe so much, you know your partner better than they know themselves. You notice the tiny frown that appears when they are stressed. You notice how they fidget when they are lying. You notice what makes them light up. Use this data. Use it to be a thoughtful partner. Extroverts might plan a big surprise party with 100 people. That is their language of love. You, the introvert, might write a heartfelt letter that lists 10 things you admire about them. You might buy them a small gift that relates to a story they told you 3 years ago. This kind of specific, attentive love is powerful. It shows a depth of care that money cannot buy. It shows that you have been paying attention to the soul of the person, not just their surface. But you must also protect your empathy. When your partner or friend is sad, you feel it. You physically feel their pain. If you are not careful, you can drown in their emotions. You can become a sponge that soaks up all the negativity around you until you are heavy and sick. You must learn to visualize a shield. When you are listening to someone vent their problems, imagine there is a glass wall between you. You can see them, you can hear them, you can love them, but their energy cannot touch you. It hits the glass and slides down. This is a mental exercise, but it works. It allows you to be compassionate without being destroyed. You can say to yourself, this is their pain, it is not my pain. I can help them carry it, but I do not have to become it. We also need to talk about conflict. Introverts often hate conflict. It is loud, it is aggressive, it is flooded with cortisol. Our instinct is to withdraw, to run away, to shut down. But avoidance destroys relationships. If you bury your anger, it turns into resentment, and resentment is poison. You must learn to fight like an introvert. You do not have to have a screaming match. You do not have to win the argument in the moment. When a conflict starts and you feel your brain flooding, you have the right to call a timeout. You can say, I'm feeling overwhelmed and I cannot think clearly. I need to take a 20-minute walk. When I come back, we can finish this discussion. This is not running away. This is strategy. During that walk, your brain will move from the emotional amygdala to the rational prefrontal cortex. You will figure out exactly what you feel and why. You will formulate your sentences. When you return, you will be calm. You will be articulate. You will be able to express your needs clearly without crying or shouting. This often de-escalates the other person too. Your calm becomes contagious. So, the key to deep connection is not to change who you are. It is to manage your environment and your communication style to fit your strengths. It is about choosing the coffee shop over the nightclub. It is about choosing the one-on-one meeting over the group brainstorming session. It is about choosing the thoughtful email over the hasty phone call. It is about choosing the silence over the noise. You have the capacity for profound love and loyalty. The people who are lucky enough to be in your inner circle know this. They know that when you are friends with an introvert, you have a friend for life. You have a friend who will really listen. You have a friend who will tell you the truth. Do not dilute this power by trying to be friends with everyone. Do not spread yourself so thin that you become invisible. Be a laser, not a floodlight. A floodlight illuminates a huge area, but it is not very strong. A laser is focused on a tiny point, but it can cut through steel. Be the laser. Focus your energy on the people who matter. Focus your energy on the conversations that matter. Let's expand on the concept of the introvert's charisma. We often think charisma belongs to the loud. We think of the politician shaking hands or the comedian on stage. But there is a quiet charisma that is just as powerful. Think of Keanu Reeves. He is famously introverted. He is quiet. He is humble. He often keeps to himself. Yet, the world is obsessed with him. Why? Because he has an aura of mystery and authenticity. He does not seem to need your approval. He seems complete in himself. This is the wholeness of the introvert. Because you are comfortable being alone, you do not reek of desperation. You are not begging for attention. This makes you attractive. People want to know what you are thinking. They want to know what is going on behind those quiet eyes. You can cultivate this, maintain a little mystery. You do not have to post every thought on social media. You do not have to tell everyone your life story in the first 5 minutes. Hold something back. Let people wonder. Let them earn your trust. This quiet confidence commands respect. When you speak less, your words have more value. It is the law of supply and demand. If you flood the market with your words, their value goes down. If your words are rare, their value goes up. Become comfortable with the awkward silence. In a negotiation, or even a dating scenario, The person who is most comfortable with silence usually wins. If you can sit there calm and smiling while the other person rushes to fill the silence, you have the upper hand. You are the rock. They are the water crashing against you. Let's break down a specific scenario. The job interview. This is a high-stakes connection moment. Many introverts dread this. They feel they have to perform. They try to act hyper-enthusiastic. They try to act like a people person, and usually it comes off as fake. Instead, play to your strengths. Prepare relentlessly. This is your long pathway advantage. Research the company deeper than anyone else. Find out their problems. When you are in the room, listen. Ask deep questions about the company's challenges. Then, give thoughtful answers. It's okay to say, "That is a great question. Let me think about that for a second." Focus on your ability to do deep work. Tell them, "I am someone who likes to put my head down and focus until the job is done right. I am not easily distracted." In today's distracted world, employers are desperate for people who can actually focus. Sell that. Sell your introversion as a productivity tool. Now, I want to give you a challenge for the next few days. It is called the No Small Talk Challenge. Try to go a whole day without asking, "How are you?" or talking about the weather. Instead, prepare 3 deep questions in your pocket. What was the best part of your weekend? What are you working on that you are excited about? What is the last book or movie that really changed how you think? Use these. See what happens. You might be surprised. You might find that the boring colleague in the next cubicle is actually a fascinating person with a weird hobby. You might find that your barista has a dream of writing a novel. You are the key that unlocks these stories. Remember, connection is a two-way street, but you get to choose the vehicle. You do not have to take the bus with everyone else. You can take your own car. You can drive at your own speed. The destination is the same, human closeness. But your journey will be different, and that is okay. As we move through this book, keep remembering that your sensitivity is a sensor. You are picking up on data that others miss. In relationships, this data is gold. You know when to offer a hug. You know when to leave someone alone. You know when to bring a cup of tea. These small gestures build the foundation of trust. Do not underestimate the power of your presence. Just being there is often enough. Think about a cat. A cat does not jump on you and lick your face like a dog. A cat just enters the room and sits near you. It purrs quietly. It is a calming presence. And yet, people love cats. They respect cats. Be the cat. You do not have to perform. You just have to be. We also need to address the fear of rejection. Introverts are often sensitive to rejection because we feel things deeply. If we open up and get hurt, we retreat into our shells and weld the door shut. But you cannot connect if you are armored. You have to be vulnerable. Vulnerability is scary. It feels like standing naked in a snowstorm. But it is the only way to real connection. Start small. Share a small fear with a friend. Share a small hope. See how they handle it. If they handle it with care, give them a little more. Trust is built in drops, but lost in buckets. Take your time building it. If you find yourself in a room where you feel like you don't fit in, where everyone is loud and aggressive and superficial, do not force it. It is okay to leave. It is okay to say, "This is not my tribe." There are 8 billion people in the world. You do not need to be friends with all of them. You only need a few. Go find the libraries. Go find the quiet cafes. Go find the hiking trails. That is where your people are. That is where you will find the connections that feed you instead of draining you. Finally, let's talk about the introvert's hangover in the context of family. Family gatherings can be the hardest. You cannot just leave Thanksgiving dinner after an hour. You are trapped with people who have known you since you were a baby and who often label you, "Oh, there's quiet Johnny. Why don't you talk more?" This can be infuriating. The strategy here is helper mode. When you feel awkward or overwhelmed at a family gathering, find a job, wash the dishes, take out the trash, play with the dogs, play with the babies. Doing a task gives you a purpose. It stops people from asking you questions. It allows you to be helpful and present, but without the pressure of conversation. Plus, everyone loves the person who does the dishes. You become the hero of the holiday, all while protecting your peace. We are coming to the end of this chapter on connection. I want you to look at your phone, look at your contacts. How many names are in there? How many of those people do you actually feel safe with? How many of them know the real you? It is okay if the answer is 2 or 3. That is a success. If you have one person in this world who gets you, you are doing better than many people with 1,000 followers on Instagram. Connection is about resonance. It is about 2 strings vibrating at the same frequency. You have a unique frequency. It is a low, deep, steady hum. It is not a high-pitched scream. Do not try to change your frequency. Just look for the other people who can hear it. They are out there. They are looking for you too. They are waiting for someone who will listen to them. They are waiting for someone who will not judge them. They are waiting for someone who loves the quiet just as much as they do. Go find them. Use your listening. Use your writing. Use your empathy. But mostly, use your courage. The courage to be yourself in a world that wants you to be someone else. In the next chapter, we are going to talk about leadership. You might think, I am not a leader. I am too quiet. Wrong. Some of the greatest leaders in history were introverts. We are going to learn how to lead without shouting. We are going to learn how to guide a team with calm, strategic power. We are going to debunk the myth of the loud CEO. You have the potential to be a formidable leader. The world is desperate for leadership that listens. But for now, focus on your connections. Make that one call. Send that one text. Ask that one question. The art of deep connection is your birthright. Claim it. And remember, you do not need to be the life of the party to be the life of the relationship. You just need to be you. Let's dig even deeper into the mechanics of the deep conversation. How do you actually steer a conversation from the weather to something meaningful without being weird? You can't just ask what is the meaning of life while buying milk. You need bridge phrases. A bridge phrase connects the mundane to the meaningful. For example, someone mentions the rain. It's been raining all week. Standard response. Yeah, it sucks. Introvert bridge response. I actually kind of love the rain. It gives me an excuse to stay inside and read. Do you ever feel like you just need a valid excuse to slow down? See what you did there? You took a fact, rain, and connected it to a feeling, the need to slow down. You invited them to share a feeling. Another example. Someone asks, what do you do for a living? Standard response. I'm an accountant. Introvert bridge response. I work in accounting. It's intense, but I really like the logic of it. I'm a person who likes things to make sense. Are you drawn to more logical things or more creative things? You answered the question, but you also revealed something about your personality. You like logic, and you invited them to analyze themselves. This is the secret sauce. Share a tiny bit of your inner world and then invite them to share theirs. It is a subtle dance. It requires practice. But you are a natural observer. You can learn this. Watch how people react. If they step back, you went too deep too fast. Pull back. Talk about sports for a minute. Then try a smaller bridge. If they lean in, if their eyes light up, keep going. You have found a fellow diver. Also, consider the power of the shared activity. Face-to-face conversation can be intense because of the eye contact. It feels like a spotlight. Shoulder-to-shoulder conversation is much easier for introverts. This is when you are doing something together. Hiking, driving, putting together a puzzle, cooking. When your hands are busy, your mind relaxes. You don't have to look at each other constantly. The silence feels natural, not awkward. If you want to bond with someone, do not invite them for coffee where you just sit and stare at each other. Invite them for a walk. Invite them to a painting class. The activity acts as a buffer. It takes the pressure off. This is why many introverts love video games or sports. It is a way to be with people without the constant demand for direct social performance. Use this. If you are struggling to connect with a friend, stop trying to just talk, do something. Build a Lego set together. Go bowling. The conversation will flow naturally in the gaps between the action. Let's address the concept of social anxiety versus introversion. These are not the same thing. Introversion is your biology, energy drain. Social anxiety is a fear of judgment. You can be a confident introvert. You can be a shy extrovert. However, they often overlap. If you have social anxiety, the techniques in this book will still help you, but you must be gentle. The one-person goal is perfect for anxiety. It breaks the terrifying crowd down into a manageable unit. Preparation is perfect for anxiety. Knowing what you are going to say reduces the fear of the unknown. But do not confuse your need for solitude with fear. If you stay home because you are tired, that is introversion. That is healthy. If you stay home because you are scared of what people will think of you, that is anxiety. That is something to work on. Ask yourself the question, am I seeking solitude or am I avoiding fear? Be honest with the answer. If it is fear, take one small step. Go out for 10 minutes. Prove to your brain that you are safe. Then go home and recharge. You are building a muscle. Finally, a word on ghosting. Introverts are famous for ghosting. We get overwhelmed. We see a text. We mentally reply, but we forget to actually type it. Then 3 weeks pass. Then we feel guilty. Then we feel too ashamed to reply because it has been so long. So we never reply. This kills relationships. You must break the shame cycle. If you haven't replied in a month, send this text. Hey, I am so sorry I fell off the face of the earth. I went into hermit mode and lost track of time. I miss you, and I hope you are doing well. That's it. You don't need a complex lie. You don't need to say your dog ate your phone. Just own your hermit mode. People appreciate the honesty. They usually say, "No worries, I get it." Do not let your guilt cost you a friendship. It is never too late to reach out, reconnect, repair. Your people are waiting for you. You have the tools. You have the depth. You have the ability to make people feel seen in a way that is rare and beautiful. Do not hoard this gift. Share it with the world, one person at a time, one meaningful conversation at a time, one moment of true listening at a time. You are the quiet architect of connection. Build bridges that last. In the next chapter, we will discuss how to take this quiet confidence into the workplace and the world of leadership. We will see how your prudent nature makes you the best captain for the ship when the storm comes. Stay tuned. Chapter 3. The Quiet Leader. When we think of a leader, what image comes to mind? Usually it is a person standing on a stage holding a microphone and shouting. We think of the general riding a horse into battle, screaming a war cry. We think of the CEO in a glass office, pounding on the table, demanding results, and dominating every conversation. We think of the alpha, the loudest voice in the room, the person who never doubts themselves, the person who loves the spotlight. This is the image that Hollywood sells us. It is the image that business magazines sell us. And for a long time, it is the image that made many introverts believe they could never be leaders. You might have looked at your boss or the politicians on TV and thought to yourself, I am not like that. I do not like to shout. I do not like confrontation. I do not like to be the center of attention. Therefore, I cannot lead. I am destined to be a follower. I am destined to sit in the back and do the work while someone else takes the credit. I am here to tell you that this is a lie. It is a myth that has held you back for too long. The truth is that some of the greatest leaders in human history were introverts. They were quiet. They were reserved. They were shy. Yet they moved mountains. They changed the course of history. They built empires. And they did it not by trying to be loud, but by using the specific strengths of their quiet nature. Think about Abraham Lincoln. He is often cited as one of the greatest presidents in the history of the United States. He was known for his deep melancholy, his long silences, and his preference for reading alone. He was not a man who loved the crowd. He was a man who loved to think. His power came from his ability to analyze complex moral problems and hold his ground when the world was falling apart. He did not lead with volume. He led with conviction. Think about Rosa Parks. The woman who sparked a civil rights movement did not do it by giving a loud speech. She did it with a quiet, simple act of defiance. She was described by those who knew her as soft-spoken and timid. But she had the strength of steel. Her quiet no was louder than any scream. It echoed around the world. This is the power of introverted leadership. It is not about how much noise you make. It is about the impact you have. Think about Bill Gates. He is a classic introvert. He is a nerd. He would rather read a book than go to a party. Yet he built one of the most powerful companies on earth. He did not do it by schmoozing. He did it by thinking. He did it by recognizing a technological future that no one else saw and building a strategy to get there. These examples prove that you do not need a personality transplant to be a boss. You just need to understand a different style of leadership. We can call this the servant leader model, or simply the quiet leader. The loud leader works on the principle of dominance. They assert their will upon the group. This can work in certain situations, especially when things are simple and speed is the only goal. But in the modern world, problems are complex. Teams are made up of smart, independent people. Dominance does not work as well as it used to. People do not want to be shouted at. They want to be heard. This is where you come in. Let us look at a famous study by Adam Grant and his colleagues from the Wharton School. They studied a pizza delivery chain. They looked at the profitability of different stores. Some stores were managed by extroverts and some were managed by introverts. They also looked at the employees. Some teams were passive, meaning they just did what they were told. Other teams were proactive, meaning they came up with new ideas to improve the business. The results were fascinating. When the employees were passive and needed a lot of direction, the extroverted leaders did better. They provided the energy and the commands that the team needed. But when the employees were proactive, when they had ideas and wanted to improve things, the extroverted leaders failed. Why? Because the extroverted leaders felt threatened by the employees' ideas. They wanted to be the ones with the answers. They shut down the team's creativity. However, the introverted leaders thrived with the proactive teams. The introverted leaders listened. They were not threatened. They were curious. They took the employees' ideas and implemented them. The result was that the stores managed by introverts with proactive teams were much more profitable. This is a massive realization. In the modern economy, we want proactive employees. We want innovation. We want creative solutions. This means that the modern economy is perfectly suited for the introverted leader. You are the leader who listens. You are the leader who lets other people shine. You are the leader who gathers the best ideas from the room instead of just forcing your own idea on everyone else. This is your first actionable step in leadership. Flip the script. Do not try to be the person who talks the most in the meeting. Be the person who asks the best questions. Imagine you are in a boardroom. There are 10 people. Everyone is arguing. The extroverts are interrupting each other, trying to prove they are smart. You sit there. You listen. You observe. You notice that Bob has a good point, but Sarah keeps cutting him off. You notice that the team is missing a crucial piece of data regarding the budget. When there is a lull in the noise, you speak up. You speak calmly. You say, I think we are missing the point about the budget, and I think Bob had a solution for that. Bob, can you explain that again? In that moment, you have taken control of the room. You have not shouted, you have not been aggressive, but you have directed the flow of power. You have validated a team member, which earns you their loyalty, and you have refocused the group on the real problem. This is leadership. It is like being the conductor of an orchestra. The conductor does not make a sound. He does not play the violin. He holds the baton. He directs the energy. You are the conductor. Let us talk about empathy as a management tool. We discussed in the previous chapters how your brain is wired for empathy. You feel what others feel. In a leadership position, this is a superpower. Most bad bosses are bad because they are unaware. They do not know that their team is burned out. They do not know that their best employee is having personal trouble and needs a break. They just push and push until people quit. You are different. You have a radar. You can sense the mood of the office. You can tell when the energy is low. You can tell when someone is frustrated. Use this. If you see an employee who looks down, do not ignore it. Call them into your office for a quiet chat. Ask them, "Is everything okay? You seem a little off today." That employee will likely open up to you. They will tell you the truth. And because you listened, you can solve the problem before it becomes a disaster. You can give them a day off. You can shift their workload. This creates incredible loyalty. People will work hard for a boss who cares about them as a human being. Extroverted leaders often treat people like resources. Introverted leaders treat people like people. In the long run, the team that feels cared for is the team that wins. Now, let us address the elephant in the room. Meetings. Introverts hate meetings. We hate the lack of structure. We hate the pressure to brainstorm on the spot. We hate the people who talk just to hear their own voices. But as a leader, you have to run meetings. So, how do you do it without losing your mind? You change the rules of the game. The standard meeting is designed for extroverts. It is a free-for-all verbal brawl. The introverted leader changes the format. Strategy number 1 is the written brief. Amazon CEO Jeff Bezos, who has many introverted traits, banned PowerPoint presentations in his meetings. Instead, he requires a 6-page written memo. At the start of the meeting, everyone sits in total silence for 20 minutes and reads the memo. This is heaven for an introvert. It forces everyone to think before they speak. It puts the focus on the substance of the ideas, not the charisma of the presenter. You can do a version of this. Before a meeting, send out an email. Say, "Here is the problem we are trying to solve. Please come to the meeting with 3 written ideas. We will spend the first 10 minutes reading them. This levels the playing field. It gives you, and the other introverts on your team, time to process. It stops the loud people from dominating the first 5 minutes. It ensures that the best idea wins, not the loudest voice." Strategy number 2 is the round robin. In a normal meeting, only the assertive people speak. As a leader, it is your job to protect the quiet voices. Go around the table. Ask each person specifically for their input. "Jennifer, what do you think about this?" This gives the quiet people permission to speak. It creates a space for them. And often, Jennifer has the best idea in the room. She was just waiting to be asked. Strategy number 3 is the post-meeting follow-up. Sometimes your best ideas come to you 2 hours after the meeting is over. That is the long pathway of your brain working. Do not feel bad about this. Normalize it. Tell your team, "We had a good discussion. I am going to digest this and send out my final thoughts by email tomorrow morning." This buys you time. It takes the pressure off making a snap decision. It allows you to use your writing skills to be clear and precise. Let us talk about deep work as your career currency. We live in a distracted world. Most managers spend their days running from fire to fire, answering emails every 30 seconds, and never actually thinking. They are busy, but they are not productive. You have the ability to focus. This is the rarest skill in the modern marketplace. Cal Newport calls it deep work. It is the ability to master hard things quickly. As a leader, you should model this. Block out time on your calendar. Call it strategy time. Close your door. Turn off your phone. During these 2 hours, you do the hard thinking. You look at the long-term goals. You analyze the data. You write the complex proposal. When you emerge from that room, you will have produced something of high value. The loud leader spent those 2 hours in 3 useless meetings. You spent those 2 hours solving a problem that will save the company millions. Who is the more valuable leader? Do not apologize for your closed door. Explain it. Tell your team, I am going into a focus block from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Unless the building is on fire, do not disturb me. I am doing this so I can give you my best guidance later. Your team will respect this. In fact, they might start doing it too. And suddenly, you have a culture of productivity instead of a culture of distraction. Now, let us talk about crisis management. When things go wrong, when the stock market crashes, when the client cancels the contract, or when the server goes down, panic sets in. The extroverted instinct is to do something, anything, run around, shout orders, call a meeting. This often adds to the chaos. It raises the cortisol levels of everyone in the room. The introverted instinct is to pause, to think, to analyze. This is called the calm. In a crisis, the most powerful person is the calmest person. If you can keep your heart rate down while everyone else is freaking out, you are the leader. Use your natural tendency to withdraw to your advantage. When the bad news hits, take 5 minutes. Go for a walk. Sit in your chair and breathe. Let your brain process the threat. Then come out with a plan. Speak slowly. Speak quietly. Okay, here is the situation. Here is what we know. Here is what we do not know. Here is the first step we are going to take. Your calm will act as an anchor. The team will hold on to you. They will stop panicking because they see that you are not panicking. They will think, if he is calm, maybe it is going to be okay. This is the leadership of the pilot landing the plane in a storm. You do not want a pilot who is screaming. You want a pilot who is staring at the instruments, calculating the wind speed, and making small, precise adjustments. Be the pilot. Let us discuss the concept of managing up. You might not be the CEO yet. You might have a boss who is loud, aggressive, and extroverted. How do you handle them without getting crushed? You have to learn to speak their language, but on your terms. Loud bosses usually value confidence and speed. When you are quiet, they interpret it as uncertainty. They think you do not know the answer. You need to communicate your process. You cannot just sit there silently. You have to say, I have heard your question. I am thinking about the best solution. I will have an answer for you in 1 hour. This tells them, I am not ignoring you. I am working on it. I am confident enough to take my time. Also, use the power of the one-on-one. Large meetings with a loud boss are a nightmare. You will get talked over. Instead, try to schedule short, private meetings with your boss. Hey, I had some ideas about the project that I wanted to run by you for 10 minutes. In a private room, the dynamic changes. The loud boss often calms down. They do not have an audience to perform for. You can have a real, rational conversation. You can show them your depth. This is where you win their respect. Now let us talk about the imposter syndrome. This is the feeling that you are a fake, that you do not belong in the leadership role. That any minute now, someone is going to walk in and say, hey, you are just a quiet person. Get out of that chair. Introverts are prone to this because we have high standards for ourselves. We overthink our mistakes. We replay that one awkward comment we made 5 years ago. But here is a fact. The people who doubt themselves are often the best leaders. Why? Because they are not arrogant. They prepare. They double-check their work. They ask for advice. The arrogant leader thinks they know everything. They drive the company off a cliff because they refuse to look at the map. You are constantly looking at the map. Use your doubt as a tool. Let it drive you to be better prepared. But do not let it paralyze you when that voice in your head says you are too quiet to lead. Answer back. Say, no, I am quiet because I am listening, and that is why I am leading. Let us look at the physical environment of leadership. The modern office is a disaster for introverts. Open floor plans, glass walls, constant noise. It is designed for maximum interruption. As a leader, you have the power to change this. If you have an office, use it. Do not feel guilty about closing the door. If you manage a team, create quiet zones. Designate a part of the office where talking is not allowed. It is like a library. Create no meeting days. Maybe every Wednesday there are no meetings allowed. Everyone just works. Your team will love you for this. Even the extroverts get tired of the noise. By championing a culture of focus, you are helping everyone. Let us talk about public speaking. This is the #1 fear for many people, but especially for introverts. The idea of standing in front of 500 people is terrifying. But as a leader, you have to do it. You have to give the presentation. You have to give the toast. Here is the secret. You do not have to be a performer. You do not have to tell jokes. You do not have to jump around the stage like a motivational speaker. Be a teacher. Introverts are natural teachers. We like to explain things. We like structure. When you prepare a speech, think of it as a lesson. You have information that these people need. Your job is simply to deliver that information clearly. Focus on the content, not the delivery. If your content is good, if it solves a problem for the audience, they will listen. They will not care if you are not dancing. In fact, a quiet, serious delivery can be very powerful. It signals authority. It signals that this is serious business. Also, preparation is your armor. Extroverts might wing it. You should not. Write out your speech. Practice it. Memorize the first 3 sentences so you can start strong even if you are nervous. Visit the room beforehand. Stand on the stage. Get comfortable with the space. The more you prepare, the less space there is for anxiety. And remember to breathe. Before you go on stage, do box breathing. Inhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds, exhale for 4 seconds, hold for 4 seconds. This hacks your nervous system. It tells your body that you are safe. It lowers your heart rate. Let us discuss the lonely at the top concept. Leadership can be lonely. You cannot be best friends with your employees. You have to make hard decisions. You have to fire people. For an introvert who values deep connection, this can be hard. You need a support system outside of your team. Find a mentor. Find a peer group. Find other leaders who are introverts. You need a safe space where you can vent, where you can be weak, where you can ask for help. Do not try to carry the weight of the leadership alone. Even the Lone Ranger had Tonto. Even Frodo had Sam. Find your Sam. Let us talk about decision-making. We touched on the long pathway in the brain. In leadership, this is your quality control. Impulsive decisions destroy companies. A CEO gets excited about a merger, ignores the red flags, and buys a dying company. A manager gets angry and fires a good employee. You are the brake pedal in a car that is moving too fast. When a decision lands on your desk, your natural instinct is to say, "Let me think about it." Keep doing that. Gather the facts. Look at the downsides. Play out the scenario in your head. If we do A, then B will happen. But if we do C, then D might happen. This is strategic thinking. It is rare. When you present your decision, show your work. Explain why you made that choice. Explain the risks you considered. People will trust you because they see the logic. They see that you are not gambling with their livelihoods. You are calculating. Let us consider the concept of humility. Jim Collins wrote a famous business book called Good to Great. He studied companies that went from average to spectacular. He found that the leaders of these companies were not the flashy celebrity CEOs. They were what he called level 5 leaders. These leaders had a combination of extreme personal humility and intense professional will. They were modest. They were understated. They did not talk about themselves. They talked about the company. They talked about the team. This is you. You are naturally humble. You do not need the credit. You just want the result. This makes you effective because you are not fighting for status. You are fighting for victory. Your team knows that you are not in it for your ego. They know you are in it for the mission. This inspires trust. When the leader eats last, the team eats first. When the leader takes the blame and gives away the credit, the team becomes fearless. Let us talk about networking as a leader. As you climb the ladder, you have to network with high-level people, other CEOs, board members, investors. This can be intimidating. These people are often sharks. But remember the deep connection principle from Chapter 2. These high-level people are bored of the sharks. They are bored of the sales pitch. They are human beings. They have worries. They have kids. They have hobbies. When you meet a powerful person, do not try to impress them with your resume. Ask them a thoughtful question. What is the biggest challenge your industry is facing right now? What is the one thing you wish you knew when you started? Listen to the answer. Connect on an intellectual level. Quiet competence is very attractive to powerful people. They recognize it. They respect it. They will remember the person who asked the smart question, not the person who talked about their golf game for 20 minutes. Let us talk about energy management for leaders. Leading is exhausting. It drains your battery faster than anything else. You cannot lead on an empty battery. You must be ruthless about your recovery. If you have a big speech on Tuesday, clear your schedule on Monday night. Stay home, read, sleep. If you have a chaotic week, take the weekend off, completely off. No email, no phone. Go to nature. Nature is the ultimate restorative niche for the leader. The trees do not talk. The river does not ask for a raise. The mountain does not have a deadline. Reconnect with the silence. This is not laziness. This is refueling the jet. If you burn out, you are useless to your team. Your self-care is a professional duty. Let us talk about the visionary aspect. Introverts are often dreamers. We spend a lot of time in our heads. We imagine how things could be different. This is the seed of vision. Leadership is about painting a picture of the future and convincing people to go there. You have the imagination to see the future. Now you need the communication to share it. Write it down. Write a manifesto. Write a vision statement. Use your words to paint the picture. Imagine a company where people follow a vision. If your vision is clear and compelling, they will follow you, even if you whisper it. Let us talk about conflict resolution. As a leader, you are the referee. Two employees are fighting. The extrovert might jump in and yell, "Stop it, get back to work." This suppresses the conflict, but it does not solve it. You have the patience to unravel the knot, sit them down. Separately first, listen to both sides, understand the root cause. Is it really about the project? Or is it about respect? Is it about a personality clash? You can analyze the human dynamics, then bring them together. Mediate. John, I hear that you feel disrespected when Sarah changes your code. Sarah, I hear that you feel anxious when the code is not perfect. How can we solve this? You facilitate the solution. You do not force it. You teach them how to understand each other. You are building emotional intelligence in your team. Let us talk about mentoring. One of the greatest joys of leadership is growing other people. Introverts make excellent mentors. We are patient. We are observant. We give space. Find the young introverts in your company, the ones who are hiding in the back, the ones who are smart but terrified. Take them under your wing. Tell them, "I see you. I see your talent. And I know it is hard to speak up. I was like you." Teach them the tricks. Teach them how to prepare. Teach them how to survive. You are creating the next generation of quiet leaders. This is your legacy. Let us talk about the concept of the anchor. In a storm, the waves are crashing, the wind is howling, and the boat is tossing around. The anchor is invisible. It is deep underwater. It is silent. It is heavy. But it is the only thing saving the ship from crashing into the rocks. You are the anchor. Your silence is your weight. Your depth is your grip. When the market crashes, be the anchor. When the rumors fly, be the anchor. When the team is scared, be the anchor. You do not have to wave a flag, you just have to hold the line. Let us talk about negotiation. Negotiation is often seen as a battle of wills. The loudest person wins. False. Negotiation is a battle of information. The person who knows the most wins. The person who understands what the other side really wants wins. You are a listener. You are a researcher. In a negotiation, let the other side talk. Let them talk for 30 minutes. Let them tell you everything. They will reveal their weak points. They will reveal their bottom line. You sit there. You nod. You take notes. Then, when they are done, you make your offer. A precise, well-reasoned offer that gives them what they need, but gets you what you want. Silence is a weapon in negotiation. Make an offer. Then shut up. Do not fill the silence. The other person will get uncomfortable. They will start talking. They will bid against themselves. Use the silence. Let us talk about delegation. Introverts sometimes struggle with delegation because we think, it is easier if I just do it myself. I do not want to bother anyone. But you cannot lead if you do everything. You have to trust your team. Use your observation skills to match the task to the person. You know that Mike loves data but hates people. Give him the report. You know that Julie loves people but hates details. Give her the client meeting. You are the casting director. Put the actors in the right roles. When people are doing work that fits their nature, they are happy. They are productive. Let us talk about feedback. Giving negative feedback is hard. We do not want to hurt feelings, but it is necessary. The sandwich method is a cliché, but it works. Positive, negative, positive. But more importantly, be specific. Do not say, you are doing a bad job. Say, I noticed that the report had 3 errors in the data section. This caused a problem with the client. I know you are detail-oriented, so I was surprised. How can we make sure this does not happen again? Focus on the behavior, not the person. Do it in private. Never criticize someone in public. Your quiet, gentle delivery makes the criticism easier to swallow. It does not feel like an attack. It feels like coaching. Let us talk about celebration. Extroverted teams celebrate with loud parties, gongs, and high fives. That might not be your style, but you still need to celebrate wins. Do it your way. A heartfelt email to the whole company highlighting the hard work. A handwritten note to the team member who stayed late. A quiet lunch with the team. Meaningful rewards. People appreciate being noticed. They appreciate genuine gratitude more than forced party noises. Let us talk about the growth mindset. You are a learner. Introverts are often voracious readers. We are always trying to understand the world. Bring this into your leadership. Share books with your team. I read this book on strategy, and I thought of you. Encourage learning. Give your team a budget for courses and conferences. Create a culture of curiosity. I do not know the answer. Let us find out together. This is a powerful phrase. It shows that you are not a dictator. You are an explorer. Let us talk about authenticity. The most important thing in leadership is trust. People do not trust people who are faking it. If you try to act like a loud extrovert, people will smell the fake. It will look awkward. But if you own your introversion, people will respect it. It is okay to say, I am an introvert. I need to think about this. It is okay to say, I am not great at small talk, so let us jump straight to the business. When you are comfortable in your own skin, you make others comfortable. Vulnerability is a strength. Let us talk about the long game. Extroverts are often sprint runners. They have high energy bursts. Introverts are marathon runners. We have stamina. We can keep going. Business is a marathon. It is not about who is the loudest in Q1. It is about who is still standing in Q4. Your steady, consistent pace is your advantage. You do not get too high on the wins. You do not get too low on the losses. You just keep moving forward, step by step. This consistency builds empires. Let us summarize the quiet leader. You are the listener. You are the strategist. You are the calm in the storm. You are the prepared one. You are the empathetic one. You are the anchor. You are the teacher. You do not need to shout to be heard. Your actions speak. Your results speak. Your character speaks. So, walk into that office with your head high. Do not try to be Tony Robbins. Be Bill Gates. Be Rosa Parks. Be you. The world is noisy. It is chaotic. It is desperate for someone who knows what they are doing. It is desperate for a grown-up. That is you. Here is your challenge for this chapter. Identify one leadership situation where you usually stay silent or feel awkward. Maybe it is the weekly meeting. Maybe it is giving feedback. Plan a quiet strategy for it. Write down what you want to say. Prepare a question. And then execute. Do it calmly. Do it slowly. See how the room reacts. You will see the heads turn. You will see the respect in their eyes. You will realize that the microphone was yours all along. You just didn't know how to hold it. You are ready to lead. Not tomorrow, today. Step up. Speak softly. And change the world. In the next chapter, we are going to explore the engine of your success, the creative mind. We are going to look at how your solitude is actually an incubator for genius. We are going to talk about flow states, innovation, and why the best ideas come when you are alone. You have a creative factory inside your head. It is time to turn it on. Chapter 4. The Creative Mind. We have talked about your brain science. We have talked about how to connect with people. We have talked about how to lead. Now we are going to talk about something magical. We are going to talk about the fire that burns inside you. We are going to talk about your creativity. There is a misconception that creativity is a group activity. We imagine the brainstorming session. A group of people in a room with a whiteboard, shouting ideas, throwing sticky notes on the wall, feeding off each other's energy. This is the corporate version of creativity. It is loud, it is social, and for the introvert, it is often hell. But history tells us a different story about where great ideas come from. Sir Isaac Newton did not discover gravity while brainstorming with a committee. He was sitting alone under a tree. Albert Einstein did not invent the theory of relativity in a crowded office. He did it while working alone in a patent office and thinking deeply in his spare time. J.K. Rowling dreamed up Harry Potter while sitting alone on a delayed train. Steve Wozniak built the first Apple computer alone in his apartment at 4 a.m. The truth is, solitude is the catalyst for innovation. Solitude is not just the absence of people, it is the presence of your own mind. When you are alone, you are free. You are free from the judgment of others. You are free from the need to be polite. You are free from the noise of other people's opinions. In that silence, your brain can do what it was designed to do. It can connect the dots. In this chapter, we are going to explore why introverts are natural creators. We are going to look at the concept of flow. We are going to learn how to build a physical environment that triggers genius. And we are going to learn how to trust your own weird, wonderful ideas. Let us start with the difference between solitude and loneliness. These two words are often used interchangeably, but they are opposites. Loneliness is a negative state. It is the feeling of being isolated when you want to be connected. It hurts. It feels like something is missing. Solitude is a positive state. It is the glory of being alone. It is the state of being full of yourself in a good way. It is a choice. Introverts need solitude like plants need sunlight. It is where we grow. If you are constantly surrounded by people, you are in reaction mode. You are reacting to their words, their needs, their energy. You are playing defense. When you are alone, you switch to creation mode. You are generating your own thoughts. You are playing offense. You must stop feeling guilty for wanting to be alone. Society tells us that a person sitting alone is sad. Look at that guy eating lunch by himself. Poor guy. No. That guy is probably having the best time of his life. He is reading a great book. He is thinking about a new business idea. He is enjoying the taste of his food without having to make small talk. He is not sad. He is recharging. You must reclaim the word loner. A loner is someone who has the strength to stand apart from the herd. Creativity requires you to stand apart. If you think exactly like the herd, you cannot create anything new. To create is to do something different. Therefore, creators must be comfortable being outsiders. You are already an outsider. You are already comfortable on the edges. This is your creative advantage. Let us talk about the flow state. This is a term coined by the psychologist Mihaly Csikszentmihalyi. Flow is that feeling when you are so immersed in a task that the rest of the world disappears. You lose track of time, you forget to eat, you forget to pee, you are completely one with what you are doing. This is the optimal state of human experience. It is where peak performance happens. It is where happiness happens. Introverts enter flow more easily than extroverts. Why? Because flow requires intense focus. It requires the elimination of distractions. Extroverts often get bored when they are alone with a task for too long. They crave stimulation. They check their phone. They want to talk to someone. Disruption kills flow. You, however, have the ability to sit still. You have the Sitzfleisch, a German word meaning sitting meat, or the ability to sit on your chair until the job is done. To maximize your creativity, you must engineer your life to produce flow. You need 3 things. A clear goal. I'm going to write this chapter. I am going to code this feature. I am going to paint this canvas. Immediate feedback. You can see the words appearing. You can see the code working. A balance between challenge and skill. It has to be hard enough to be interesting, but not so hard that you give up. But most importantly, you need uninterrupted time. It takes about 15 to 20 minutes to get into a flow state. If you are interrupted every 10 minutes by a text message or a coworker asking a question, you will never enter flow. You will spend your whole life skimming the surface. You have to protect your flow blocks. This goes back to the deep work concept. Put a sign on your door. In the zone, do not disturb. Turn off the Wi-Fi if you don't need it. Put your phone in another room. Give yourself the gift of focus. Let us talk about brainstorming. The corporate world loves brainstorming meetings. Studies show that these meetings actually inhibit creativity. Why? Evaluation apprehension. People are afraid to say weird ideas because they don't want to look stupid in front of the boss. Production blocking. Only one person can talk at a time. While you are listening to Bob, you forget your own idea. Social loafing. People let the loud ones do the work and just sit back. The best way to generate ideas is brainwriting. This is where people generate ideas alone, write them down, and then share them. This is the introvert's way. If you are working on a creative project, do not try to do it in a group at first. Go away. Go to your cave. Write down 50 ideas. Let them be bad. Let them be crazy. No one is watching. When you are alone, you can take risks. You can explore the weird corners of your mind. Only after you have done the deep solitary work should you bring your ideas to the group for feedback. Incubate alone. Validate together. Let us talk about observation mode. Creativity is inputs and outputs. You cannot output good ideas if you don't input good data. You are a natural observer. You notice things. This is your fuel. Leonardo da Vinci was a master observer. He would spend hours just watching water flow or watching birds fly. He filled notebooks with his observations. This is why he was a genius. You do this too. You notice the way the light hits the building. You notice the specific word a customer used. You notice the gap in the market. Keep a notebook. This is an essential tool for the creative introvert. Do not trust your memory. Write it down. Capture the snippets of conversation. Capture the random thoughts. These are the Lego bricks of your future masterpiece. Let us talk about the incubator. Have you ever struggled with a problem for hours, given up, gone for a walk, and then suddenly the answer popped into your head? This is the incubation effect. Your conscious mind gives up, but your subconscious mind keeps working. It works best when you are in a low-stimulation environment. This is why people get their best ideas in the shower, or while driving, or while walking in nature. For an introvert, these quiet moments are sacred. Do not fill every second of your life with podcasts and music. Leave space for silence. Silence is the sound of your brain thinking. If you are always consuming content, you can never create content. Be bored. Boredom is the precursor to creativity. When the brain is bored, it starts to make up its own entertainment. It starts to invent. Let us talk about the creative hangover. Creating is exhausting. It uses a lot of emotional and mental energy. After a deep session of writing or coding or designing, you might feel drained. You might feel spacey. This is normal. Treat it like an athlete treats a workout. You need recovery. Eat something. Drink water. Staring at a wall for 10 minutes. Do not jump straight into a high-stress social situation. You are too open. You are too raw. Give yourself a transition period to come back to the real world. Let us talk about sensitivity and art. Many introverts are highly sensitive people, HSP. We feel things deeply. A sad movie can ruin our day. A beautiful song can make us cry. This sensitivity can be painful, but it is also the source of great art. If you don't feel deeply, you cannot write a song that touches someone's heart. You cannot design a product that solves a real human need. Your pain is your paint. Don't try to toughen up. Don't try to numb yourself. Channel the emotion into the work. If you are sad, write. If you are angry, paint. If you are anxious, code. Turn the energy into something tangible. This is alchemy. This is turning lead into gold. Let us talk about the lone wolf creator. There is a trend now for collaboration. Everything has to be a collab, but some things are best done alone. A novel is written by one person. A painting is painted by one person. Do not feel like you have to have a partner to be valid. You are enough. Trust your singular vision. Committees produce safe, boring, average things. Individuals produce spiky, weird, brilliant things. Be spiky. Let us talk about structuring your environment. Your physical space affects your mental space. As an introvert, you are sensitive to your surroundings. Clutter creates mental noise. Create a creative sanctuary. It doesn't have to be a whole room. It can be a corner of a desk. Keep it clean. Keep it simple. Control the lighting. Maybe you like it dark. Maybe you like natural light. Control the sound. Invest in good noise-cancelling headphones. This signals to your brain, when I sit here, I create. It becomes a ritual. Let us talk about showing your work. This is the hard part for introverts. We love the process of creating. We hate the process of promoting. We don't want to show off. We are afraid of criticism. But art is not complete until it is shared. If you write a book and keep it in a drawer, it is not a book. It is a diary. You have to share, but you don't have to shout. You don't have to do a TikTok dance to sell your product. You can share quietly. You can let the work speak for itself. Post your portfolio online. Write a blog. Focus on value. I made this thing, and I think it will help you. That is not bragging. That is helping. Reframe marketing as sharing. You found something cool, your creation. You are just sharing it with friends. Let us talk about perfectionism. Introverts are often perfectionists. We overthink. We want it to be right before we show it. This is the enemy of creativity. Perfect is the enemy of good. You will never finish if you wait for it to be perfect. You have to learn to ship, set a deadline. When the deadline comes, you release it, even if it is only 90% done. The world rewards the person who ships, not the person who polishes forever. Release it. Get feedback. Improve it. Think of it as version 1.0. You can always release version 2.0 later. Let us talk about the inner critic. You know that voice. The one that says, "This is garbage. You are a fraud. Who do you think you are?" That voice is loud in the introvert's head because we spend so much time there. You cannot kill the inner critic, but you can negotiate with it. Tell it, "Thank you for your opinion. I am going to keep working anyway." Give your inner critic a name. Call him Grumpy Bob. When the voice starts, say, "Oh, there goes Grumpy Bob again." It makes it less scary. It separates the voice from your identity. Let us talk about curiosity as a driver. Einstein said, "I have no special talents. I'm only passionately curious." Curiosity is an introvert trait. We want to know why. Follow your curiosity. If you are interested in ants, go study ants. If you are interested in 18th century clocks, go study clocks. Do not worry if it is useful or profitable. Just follow the thread. Steve Jobs was interested in calligraphy. It seemed useless. But years later, he put those beautiful fonts into the Mac, and it changed computing. You cannot connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward. Trust that your curiosity is leading you somewhere good. Let us talk about the side hustle. The internet has created the creator economy. This is the introvert economy. You can build a business from your bedroom. You can write code, write books, design logos, sell crafts. You never have to meet a customer in person. You can interact through interfaces. This is a golden age for us. You can monetize your mind. If you have a skill, put it on the internet. You don't need a boss. You don't need an office. You just need your laptop and your brain. Start small. Build something. Ownership gives you freedom. And freedom is the ultimate goal of the introvert. The freedom to control your time. The freedom to say no. Let us talk about rest. We mentioned this before, but in creativity, rest is part of the work. Farmers know that you have to let the field lie fallow. You cannot plant crops every single day. The soil needs to recover. Your brain is the soil. If you are burned out, you cannot create. Take a sabbatical if you can. Take a weekend. Do something totally different. If you work with your head, rest with your hands. Gardening, woodworking, cooking. This shifts the energy. It allows the creative muscles to relax and rebuild. Let us summarize the creative mind. You are not antisocial. You are pro-thought. Solitude is your laboratory. Flow is your superpower. Observation is your data collection. Incubation is your magic trick. Sensitivity is your instrument. You have a universe inside your head. It is vast. It is rich. It is beautiful. Do not let the noise of the world drown it out. Protect your quiet. Protect your time. And please, for the sake of the rest of us, bring what is inside you out into the world. Write the book. Start the business. Paint the picture. Solve the problem. We need your mind. In the next and final chapter, we are going to talk about protecting your energy. We have talked about how to use your power. Now we need to talk about how to keep it. We will discuss boundaries, the power of no, and how to survive in a world that never stops beeping. This is the survival guide. This is how you make the superpower last a lifetime. Chapter 5. Protecting your energy. We have arrived at the final and perhaps the most critical chapter of this journey. We have explored the biology of your brain. We have learned how to connect deeply with others. We have discussed how to lead with quiet strength. We have unlocked the secrets of your creative mind. But none of these things matter if you are too exhausted to use them. You can have the most brilliant mind in the world, but if that mind is running on empty, it is useless. You can have the potential to be a great leader, but if you are burned out and irritable, you will fail. You can be a great friend, but if you are resentful because you have given too much, the friendship will die. This chapter is about survival. It is about defense. It is about treating your energy like the precious, limited resource that it is. In economics, there is a basic principle called scarcity. Value is determined by scarcity. Gold is valuable because it is rare. Sand is cheap because it is everywhere. For an extrovert, social energy is like sand. They seem to have an endless supply. They can spend it freely, and they can get more just by walking into a crowded room. For you, the introvert, social energy is gold. You have a limited amount in your vault every morning. Every interaction, every noise, every decision, and every emotional exchange costs you a coin. If you spend all your gold by noon, you are bankrupt for the rest of the day. You become emotionally poor. You snap at your spouse. You make bad decisions. You feel physically sick. The problem is that most introverts live their lives with a hole in their pocket. They walk around dropping gold coins everywhere, giving them to people who do not deserve them, spending them on activities they do not enjoy, and then wondering why they feel so poor at the end of the day. It is time to sew up the hole in your pocket. It is time to become an energy miser. This is not about being selfish. This is about self-preservation. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You have to fill your own cup first. Let us begin with the most powerful word in the English language. No. 2 letters, 1 syllable. But for an introvert, it is the hardest word to say. We are often people pleasers. We are empathetic. We can feel when someone needs help. We can feel their disappointment if we refuse. So when someone asks us to go to a party, or join a committee, or help them move a couch, we say yes. We say yes immediately, and then 5 seconds later we regret it. We spend the next week dreading the event. We lose sleep over it. We fantasize about the event being cancelled. We hope for a blizzard. We hope for a flat tire. And when the day comes, we go. But we are miserable. We are resentful. We are not present. This cycle must stop. You have to realize that every time you say yes to something you do not want to do, you are saying no to yourself. You are saying no to your rest. You are saying no to your creativity. You are saying no to your mental health. Is that a trade you are willing to make? You need to develop a no reflex. When someone asks you for something, your default answer should be a pause. Do not answer immediately. The pressure of the moment makes you say yes. Buy yourself time. Here is the script. Memorize it. Use it. Let me check my calendar and get back to you. That is it. It is polite. It is professional. It is not a rejection. It is a delay. This delay gives your brain time to switch from the emotional, I want to be nice mode to the rational, do I actually have the energy for this mode. Check your calendar. Look at your energy bank account. If you have a big meeting on Friday, you cannot go out on Thursday night. You cannot afford it. So you send a text. I checked my calendar and I won't be able to make it. Thank you for thinking of me. Notice what I did not do. I did not give an excuse. I did not say, I can't come because my cat is sick. I did not say, I can't come because I have to work. I just said, I won't be able to make it. You do not owe anyone an explanation for how you spend your time. If you start giving excuses, you give the other person an opening to negotiate. Oh, you have to work? Just come for an hour. Oh, your cat is sick. Bring the cat. Do not open the door. Keep it shut. I can't make it. It is a complete sentence. You must also conquer FOMO, fear of missing out. This is the disease of the social media age. You see your friends at a concert. You see them at a dinner. You feel a pang of anxiety. Everyone is having fun without me. I'm being left behind. So you force yourself to go out even when you're tired. But here is the truth. The photos lie. The photo shows a smiling group of people. It does not show the loud noise, the expensive drinks, the tired feet, the boring conversation, and the headache. You are not missing out. You are opting out. You need to embrace JOMO. The joy of missing out. Picture this. It is Friday night. It is raining. Your friends are standing in a line outside a club, shivering, paying $20 cover charge to get into a room that smells like sweat and spilled beer. You are at home. You are in your sweatpants. You have a cup of hot tea. You have a good book. You have a warm blanket. Who is winning? You are winning. Feel the joy of that comfort. Feel the luxury of the silence. You are not missing anything out there. The real party is inside your head. Now, let us talk about the introvert hangover. This is a real physical phenomenon. After too much social stimulation, your brain is flooded with cortisol and adrenaline. Your neurotransmitters are depleted. You feel it in your body. You might get a headache. Your vision might get blurry or sensitive to light. You might feel irritable. Tiny things make you angry. The sound of someone chewing gum makes you want to scream. You might feel brain fog. You cannot form a coherent sentence. You feel stupid. You might feel physically heavy, like your limbs are made of lead. This is not just in your head. This is a physiological crash. You need to treat it like a flu. If you had the flu, you would not say, I should push through and go to the gym. You would say, I need to rest. When you have an introvert hangover, you must initiate the crash protocol. Step 1. Sensory deprivation. Your brain is overstimulated. You need to cut the inputs. Go to a dark room, turn off the lights, close the curtains, put on noise-cancelling headphones. Do not play music. Just use the silence or white noise. Lie down. Close your eyes. You need to stop the data stream. Your brain needs to process the backlog of information it has absorbed. Give it an hour or two. Do not look at your phone. The phone is a stimulation machine. Scrolling Instagram is not resting. It is feeding your brain more data. Put the phone away. Step 2. Solitude. You need to be alone, physically alone. Tell your family, I have hit a wall. I need to go lie down for a bit. I'm not mad at you. I just need to recharge. If you have kids, this is hard. But it is necessary. Lock the bathroom door. Take a long bath. That is a boundary they can understand. Mommy is in the bath. Even 20 minutes of total solitude can reset the system. Step 3. Nature. If you can, go outside. There is a concept called soft fascination. City environments require hard focus. You have to watch out for cars, read signs, navigate crowds. This drains the brain. Nature provides soft fascination. You look at the leaves moving in the wind. You watch the clouds. You watch the water. This captures your attention but does not demand effort. It allows the attention centers of your brain to recover. Go for a walk in the woods. Sit by a tree. It is the fastest way to heal the hangover. Let us talk about boundaries. Boundaries are the fences you build around your energy field. Without fences, the neighbor's dogs will run all over your lawn and ruin your garden. You need fences. The hardest boundaries are with the people we love, your family, your friends, your partner. They often do not understand your introversion. They take it personally. Why don't you want to come to Sunday dinner? Don't you love us? This is guilt. Guilt is a weapon used to break down your fences. You must not surrender to the guilt. You have to educate them. Use the battery metaphor. Mom, I love you, but I have had a very long week at work and my social battery is at 0. If I come to dinner, I will be a zombie. I need to stay home and recharge so I can be a good son to you next week. Most people understand the battery metaphor. It is mechanical, it is not emotional. It removes the I don't like you implication and replaces it with I am out of fuel. You also need boundaries for the energy vampires. We all know them. The person at work who stands at your desk for 40 minutes complaining about their boyfriend. The friend who calls you and talks for 2 hours without asking how you are. These people are dangerous. They will suck you dry. You cannot change them. You can only manage them. You need the time cap. When the vampire starts talking, you set the boundary immediately. I have only got 5 minutes before I have to get back to work, but tell me what happened. When the 5 minutes are up, you cut it off. I am so sorry, I have to go now. Good luck with that. Be firm. Do not let them hook you. Do not let them guilt you. You are not their therapist. You are their friend, colleague. There is a difference. Another technique for vampires is the grey rock method. If someone is toxic and feeds on drama, do not give them drama. Be a grey rock. Be boring. Give one-word answers. Wow. Crazy. I see. Do not ask follow-up questions. Do not show emotion. If you are boring, they will not get their supply of energy from you. They will get bored and move on to someone else. This is a survival tactic for the workplace. Let us talk about the workplace fortress. The modern office is a battlefield for introverts. Open plan, no walls, constant noise, phones ringing, people walking by. It is a nightmare of interruption. You have to build a fortress. Your primary weapon is the headphone. Big, over-ear, noise-cancelling headphones. Even if you are not listening to anything, wear them. They are a universal sign that says, "Do not disturb." People are much less likely to tap you on the shoulder if you are wearing headphones. It creates a physical barrier. If someone does interrupt you, do not take them off immediately. Point to the headphones, finish your thought, then slowly take them off. This signals, "You are interrupting me." It trains people to respect your focus. You also need to reclaim your lunch break. Lunch is not for networking. Lunch is for recovery. Do not eat at your desk. If you eat at your desk, people think you are available. Leave the building. Go to your car. Go to a park. Go to a quiet corner of a coffee shop. That 1 hour of silence in the middle of the day is crucial. It is the halftime break. It allows you to survive the afternoon. If colleagues ask you to join them, say, "I need to make some personal calls." Or, "I'm going to listen to a podcast and decompress." Protect your lunch. It is yours. Let us talk about the digital assault. Your phone is a Trojan horse. You bring it into your home, into your bedroom, and then it opens up and lets the whole loud world out. Notifications are designed to trigger dopamine. They are designed to interrupt you. Bing, new email. Bing, new like. Bing, breaking news. This keeps your brain in a state of hyper-arousal. You never truly rest. You must take control. Turn off all non-essential notifications. You do not need to know instantly that someone liked your photo. You do not need to know instantly that a store is having a sale. Turn it all off. Only keep text messages and phone calls for emergencies. Check your email on your schedule, not on the phone's schedule. Batch your checking. Check at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. and 5 p.m. In between, close the app. This is digital boundaries. And the bedroom. The bedroom is a sanctuary. Do not sleep with your phone next to your head. It emits blue light, which kills your sleep hormone, melatonin. It tempts you to scroll at 2 a.m. Buy an old-fashioned alarm clock. Put the phone in the kitchen. Your bedroom is for sleep and intimacy. Nothing else. If you reclaim your sleep, you reclaim your energy. Let us talk about the introvert's vacation. Many people go on vacation and come back more tired than when they left. They go to Disney World, they go to Las Vegas, they go on a cruise ship with 5,000 people. They run around seeing sights, standing in lines, eating in loud restaurants. That is not a vacation for you. That is work. You need to plan vacations that actually restore you. Rent a cabin in the mountains. Rent a house by a quiet beach in the off-season. Go somewhere where there is no schedule. Bring books. Bring a sketchbook. Bring hiking boots. Do not feel guilty for not seeing the sights. The goal of a vacation is to rest. If you spend 7 days sitting on a porch watching the rain, that is a successful vacation. If you travel with extroverts, you must negotiate solo time. You guys go to the busy market. I'm going to stay at the hotel and read by the pool. We can meet for dinner. You do not have to be joined at the hip. Splitting up saves the trip. It saves your sanity. Let us talk about sleep divorce. This is a controversial term, but it is saving marriages. Introverts are often light sleepers. We are sensitive to movement, sound, and heat. Sleeping in the same bed with a partner who snores, kicks, or steals the covers can mean years of bad sleep. Bad sleep destroys your energy. It destroys your mood. It destroys your health. There is no shame in sleeping in separate beds or separate rooms. It does not mean you do not love each other. It means you love sleep. It means you want to be well rested so you can be a happy partner during the day. If you are tired and resentful because your partner kept you awake, that is much worse for the relationship than sleeping apart. Prioritize your rest. Let us talk about the concept of minimum viable socializing. You have to do some social things. You have to go to the office party. You have to go to the wedding. But you do not have to be the last one standing. You need an exit strategy. The Irish exit, leaving without saying goodbye, is an introvert's best friend. But if that feels too rude, use the preemptive goodbye. When you arrive, find the host, say hello, thank them for inviting you. Then, an hour later, when you are ready to leave, you can just slip away. You have already done your duty. Or tell people beforehand, I can only stay for an hour. This sets expectations. When the hour is up, you leave. No one is offended because you told them. You kept your promise. You showed up. That is 90% of the work. You do not need to stay for the encore. Let us talk about home design. Your home is your recharging station. It needs to be optimized for peace. Clutter is visual noise. If your house is messy, your brain is constantly processing that mess. I need to clean that. What is that pile? Simplify your space. Minimalism is great for introverts. Less stuff equals less mental load. Create a cozy corner. Find one chair, one spot in your house that is yours. Make it comfortable. Add a blanket. Good lighting. When you sit in that chair, it is a signal to your brain and your family. I am off duty. Protect that space. Let us talk about emotional shielding. We feel the emotions of others. If our friend is sad, we are sad. This empathy is beautiful, but it is heavy. You need to learn to visualize a shield. Before you go into a heavy situation, imagine a bubble of white light around you. Tell yourself, I am safe inside this bubble. I can see you, I can hear you, but your energy cannot drain me. This sounds like magic, but it is psychology. It creates a mental separation. It allows you to be compassionate without being consumed. You can hold space for someone without jumping into the hole with them. Let us talk about the saying no to good things concept. Sometimes we have to say no to things we actually want to do. You might want to go to the concert, you might want to go to the dinner, but if you are empty, you cannot go. This is the discipline of the introvert. It is like having a budget. You might want the Ferrari, but if you only have money for a Toyota, you buy the Toyota. If you buy the Ferrari, you go into debt. If you go to the concert when you are exhausted, you go into energy debt. The interest rate on energy debt is high. You pay for it with illness, with anxiety, with burnout. Sometimes, the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to stay home, even when you want to go out. Trust that there will be other concerts, there will be other dinners, but you only have one body. Let us talk about the power of routine. Extroverts love surprises. Introverts love routine. Routine cuts down on decision fatigue. If you know exactly what you are going to eat for breakfast, what you are going to wear, and what route you are going to drive, you save energy. You do not have to think. Automate the boring parts of your life. Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck every day. Why? To save decision energy. Create a uniform. Meal prep. Save your brain power for the things that matter. Your work, your creative projects, your deep conversations. Don't waste it on choosing socks. Let us talk about the introvert's exercise. Exercise is vital for energy, but the gym can be a nightmare. Loud music, mirrors, people grunting, people watching you. You might hate the gym, so you don't exercise. Find introvert-friendly exercise. Yoga. It is quiet. It is internal. It is about breath. Swimming. You are underwater. It is silent. No one can talk to you. It is sensory deprivation and exercise in one. Running. Just you and the road. Hiking. Find a way to move your body that does not involve social.